And now that the recording started, we're going to gently go into preparation exercises. And I'm going to take you all, well, not just me alone, of course. I'm going to take you all to a place we went yesterday in the second chapter of the Emerald Doorway. Remember, all that took place in the Emerald Doorway took place a little over 100,000 years ago. It was Master Ramu that, with his staff, had the ability to have a Galactic Alliance flagship be transported to present time to track down Sendar through an emerald doorway, which is one of the crystals that fits in the eye of the Ramu staff. It's interesting, isn't it? It's all connected. So they had to do this in order to prevent Earth's destruction today. That's just one area. And then there's the reptilians and greys and all that stuff out in the galaxy that were coming here. That's double the problem, double the whammy for people on Earth. Now, we would have already had a polar flip. It's so violent. 1,000-mile-an-hour winds is nothing. Whole continents go up in volcanic eruption and sink. The land around the core, and it isn't hollow, rises to the surface to counterbalance it, and you have new continents in place in 24 hours. Most life does not survive that violence. There may be a few thousand people on top of mountains that become islands, maybe a few survive. Primitive, no technology, nothing left, and they start over. The planet Earth has to be then carefully recolonized, and it's been that way for a long time. So it's not like other planets. The beings we work with live on planets that have not had polar flips in hundreds and hundreds of millions of years. So they're much more evolved than we are as human beings, and they live in planetary systems orbiting binary and trinary suns, not one. So this is a problem. People don't remember what they once knew in other lives in higher forms of human bodies that lived much longer. The PhDs they would have had there are far beyond anything on Earth. Now, this is all something you've all already had and been made to not be able to access through some kind of fear or other. Some of it your own you brought through many lives in the lower world. Some of it was forced upon you. And the forced upon you part is the beginning aspect of what we do on these journeys to help you recover the wisdom you have acquired in other lives, particularly in the Galactic Alliance. Some of you in the Xeon-Taramus race on the other side of the galaxy. Many of you have met Master Opelum long ago. Don't remember a thing about him. But you would have crossed paths with him, some of you as Galactic Alliance members, long ago. So if I bring this to your attention, you're never going to forget it. Because it's not just giving you mindless entertainment and information. It's the you expansion ray passing through me, through you, to impart a certain permanent change in your ability to recall and the courage you need to recall more. This comes from Source. It's the Hue expansion ray. You will not find information about this or guidance about this anywhere else on this planet yet, because it has to start somewhere. It doesn't just spring out of people all over Earth full of fear, because they wouldn't be able to hear it. They wouldn't see it, and they wouldn't know it. And if they saw an open door to eternity, they'd run the other way and would not go through it. That's people on Earth. Not that they wouldn't want to, it's just that some kind of subconscious thing or other would prevent them. So we need to let go of one thing in all of our eternity as beings. It's an artificially created, guess where, and implanted emotion. Fear. It's not even an original state of being of the Atma itself. Why would we want to carry around opposing forces in the Atma? You should know that right now there are no opposing forces in the Atma you are. There's no negative nature in it, never has been any. You can't implant lower world stuff in the Atma. It's not made of it's not atoms and molecules. So that means you're already perfect. You can't become what you already are. but you can become aware of it again. And you can become aware of more than you've ever known and do more than you've ever done. This is what the U expansion ray does. It makes us more responsible by admitting our part in creating the failed experience of good and evil, because we all created it together. And if we want to change it, we have to create the change together. You can't just drop it on some supreme being's shoulders and sit on your ass and do nothing and wait for it to happen, because it doesn't work like that. It doesn't matter what people are taught on Earth. It doesn't work like that. Look at the condition of Earth. Everything people are being taught politically, religiously, has not changed the planet at all. And left the way it is would annihilate itself. It would self-destruct. And if we didn't do it to ourselves, the planet would shake us off like fleas off a dog's back, sooner or later. This is what they attributed polar flips to. God shaking the fleas off its back and starting over. The biblical flood. These are metaphors for much greater affairs that took place than just some local event on Earth. So this is important that we begin to understand these things and think about them with not with an open mind. That's to be incorrect. But that we think about them. I think I've got everybody's mic off now. This is just to get a better recording quality. You can always turn it on if you need to. Some of you have gone on journeys to remember lives you've lived that had no negative war, no nothing, lived thousands of years in the Galactic Alliance. 300,000 years ago. I mean, 400,000, almost 500,000. And before that. We were there. This is not new. This body we're running here is a tinker toy. This was not, and never was, part of who we are. It's an extension. It's being run through the pineal gland. That's how you run it as an atma. The atma runs the body and makes it work, or it just stops. Bodies don't run themselves. My cat is run by an atma. The cat body doesn't run itself on instinct. There's an atma running that brain too. So, as more people recover this awareness, they're going to be more respectful of more life than they are now, naturally. It's our part to recover, not stay like we are and demand that God fit into our little sadistic, corrupt way of living on Earth as it is now, because it'll just keep us here. We never get out of that. We have to become responsible first, and then we get all the help we would ever need. And it begins this way. So what I want to do is get all of you going through the preliminary technique section. And this time you're getting guidance, not just from me. So it's not just you reading the preliminary techniques in the back of the Series Agenda book. These are real beings doing real things with real people, which is you. As you know, as I speak, you just naturally start to drift into the trance state called sleep. And because you can focus on a voice, which is telepathic, you can stay conscious when we go on this journey. It is the Atma that goes on the journey, not your body, not your brain, not your eyes, not your ears, not your toes. That is kept safe in the trance state. And then Galactic Alliance couples volunteer to keep your subconscious mind turned off. The whole thing, not just in the primary implant or secondary implants, but much more than that. In this way, you begin to understand that you can show each other the way you show each other to each other. As a perfect human-like form that is not made of matter. Dressed, 36, flawless, projection from the white core of your being as the Atma. This is really the way it actually works. Not the other way around. As with every special technique for each journey, we begin to explore the meaning of this journey by first practicing preparations A through E. These come from Source itself. I don't just make this stuff up out of thin air. I do create in them. I do create much of it, but I consult with beings that don't make mistakes like I would. You're beginning a majestic journey, a co-creative endeavor that sets up conditions necessary to begin the process of having direct knowing about the vast nature of the multidimensional universe. During your upcoming explorations, you will cross paths with highly spiritual spacefaring beings and the many master teachers that counsel them. You will also discover an ever greater knowing of the expansive, harmonious love operating between you and them, something you've always known. When fear is stopped, this is stuff you just begin to be able to recall and do. By accomplishing the basic preparation exercise techniques first, we experience for ourselves turning on the pineal gland in the center of the brain. It's already on, but there's many different doorways through it, and most of them aren't even used. Remember the white tunnel people talk about going up when they leave their body? That's what they're going through when they see that. And then they're out of the body. This gland is the direct, safe link, a protected doorway to higher perception. Then you, the individual being, soul, or what many spiritually evolved extraterrestrials call the Atma, pure non-physical spherically shaped energy being, can explore the vast cosmic multidimensional universe by co-creating our own direct experiences with the assistance of very advanced beings or master teachers, which is required because we can't do this on our own. First, as you're all doing, we sit comfortably in a chair, lie down on our back. And we begin to imagine someone or something that you love and that you're grateful for having them in your life. It could be a person, a place, a thing, a cat, a child's smile, a hummingbird, a waterfall, beautiful stars in space. Anything that makes you smile. But it needs to be genuine. Next, take several deep, relaxing breaths. You're letting out your attachment to fear. And it's a deep attachment, believe me. So you just let out the fear. You're breathing in what's already passing through you. That's the hue expansion ray from Source, directly moving through you. Imagine placing all your cares, concerns, fears, health conditions, worries, or trepidations about your life on Earth on a shelf or in a hard drive on a shelf. And it all goes into that. Your fear of the present and future and the past, and then shuts off. Just like you shut off your computer. It's just there, but it's off. And take a deep breath. And on your outgoing breath, send out the special vibratory word known as Hue. Comes from the first half of the word human, hidden in plain sight. Pronounced like the name, Hue. Use a comfortable, steady tone. Now then, for you, this will be silently inside, which means you'll be singing perfectly. You don't need vocal cords for this. And you do this until you exhale your breath. Then you pause briefly in silence in the sanctuary of your imagination to just look and listen. We're going to do this 5 times, each time on a successively higher tone. This is making a link. I guess you could call it chakras, but it's beyond chakras. It's going up above your head, and then it's linking into space, and then it links into, like Ambassador Torellian, it links into the omnipresent hue in space, which is a golden white light, and we make a connection. Now bend the hue tones now. Do them with me. Hue. Now, as we send out together, say it silently inside, consider that you're sending it out telepathically directly into the hue expansion ray, which instantly reaches the source behind all life, prime creator, through many beings, through portals, doorways, they're all connected. Here is what we send out. Safely show me purposefully hidden truths on a grand, cosmic, multidimensional scale, and a much greater knowing of the expansive love within it. Special note number 1. As we do this, understand that practicing the hue will connect you, the being, with the living, omnipresent, benevolent, loving force that underlies and supports all life and all that exists. This force is far beyond anything good or bad, positive or negative beings, or negative controlling technologies. It is important that we have direct awakening knowing that the hue can only connect us to the uplifting, benevolent, beneficial experiences. It is important that we often send out this request during the practice of each of the special exercises revealed in this special preliminary technique section. Negative beings, technologies, weapons on Earth or off-world among extraterrestrial races, or negative beings from other dimensions cannot influence, manipulate, affect, or control the hue, or you, while you are utilizing it. You are safe and protected while practicing this special vibratory hue expansion ray word. This word and what it does today originates in a higher dimension far above the physical universe. The hue did not originate amongst the extraterrestrial races. However, they utilize it to keep from ever acquiring a subconscious mind. In a relatively short time, anyone practicing, let's say doing the hue, not practicing it, today will come to understand this with the certainty of knowing by direct experience, their own direct experience. Everybody stay with us. Don't go to sleep. Al Penick, stay with us. Okay, do you want to make sure? Just want to make sure everybody stays with this. Let the body sleep. You stay awake. You can do this. It's easy. It's as easy as imagining going to the store. You just imagine going on the journey and stay with it. Very simple. The body's already taken care of. It shouldn't bother you for now. Special note number 2. After you have set in motion the preliminary practice above or exercise, we will explore the instructions provided in order to begin safely experience the hidden truths revealed on the journey. Special note number 3. As a suggestion for your benefit, it's most effective to be consistent with a chosen technique by practicing it at the same time every day, if possible. Nobody can do this perfectly, so don't beat yourself up. This will set up a bridge of memory between where you go when you, the being, are out of your sleeping physical body each night, exploring the multidimensional creation. Everyone leaves the physical body at night after leaving it operating on automatic in the trance state we call sleep. It's like if you have an AI running your car like a Tesla and you put it on automatic, it runs your car around where you want to go while you're doing something else. Many people, of course, have no recollection of where they travel or what they do while they're out of the body exploring. Utilizing the hue expansion ray consistently will open inner spiritual sight through the pineal gland, and then each being can consciously explore the purpose for life and their much greater grand destiny. Special note number 4. Understand, we all do this naturally, that the highly advanced benevolent extraterrestrials and master teachers, in other words, the greater God that's far beyond Earth, utilize the hue themselves to keep from ever acquiring a subconscious mind. It bears repeating. The hue is the original vibratory word of what we on Earth call the Supreme Being. It does not call itself that and does not refer to itself as that. That's made up by people, like people on Earth. Most extraterrestrials that are very much more advanced than us collectively refer to the source behind all life as Prime Creator. When the Hugh expansion ray crosses our path, the results are only beneficial. Also, we understand that control over you can only occur through what we are not aware of in our subconscious. The subconscious mind is artificial, created and forced on you at some point. It's not natural, it's not normal, and it is not inside the Atma. Special note number 5. Tell yourself before falling asleep that you will remember to only open one eye upon awakening in the morning. The purpose of this is to establish a conscious connection to your higher memory and awareness, keeping it open long enough for you to recall or record your out-of-body experiences into the physical consciousness. It works like this. You tell yourself after relaxing, going into the Hue, and you feel this warm glow. You're not afraid. The fear is stopped. Heart rate's calm, blood pressure, everything's fine. And then you tell yourself you're going to only open one eye. It means that as you're coming back to the body and you're beginning to be aware you're getting in the body, you're starting to wake up, this memory comes back to you and says, I'm only going to open one eye. And then you do it. Now you can review where you just went because the memory will be fresh, still accessible. And then you record it like playing a film from beginning to end. And once it's ended, open the other eye. And you'll discover that the entire journey of where you went is now recorded into the physical consciousness. We're biscopular beings. Once two eyes are open, it shuts off that link so we don't bump into Mack trucks and walk across the street and get run over. When we have one eye open, there's a link. It's not biscopic yet, so the link's still open. This much you need to know, and then it makes more sense to you. With a little persistent practice, this can be accomplished with wondrous results. It's not immediate or instant. Don't beat yourself up if you don't do it for the first few weeks or whatever. Can't do it. It doesn't matter because you're setting up the conditions. You're doing what you should have been taught to do when you were a kid, when you were a baby. Just as easily as you imagine going to the store, you now are up by the ceiling. You are not a body, you're not an astral body that looks like your physical body. You're a spherical being hovering there, looking down at that body in the trance state. There are two beings, a male and a female, man and woman, human, humanoid, pleasant, about 36, many hundreds, even many thousands of years old in some cases. In the bodies they show you that look to be about 36 on their worlds, they don't age like we do. They don't overpopulate planets like people on Earth do. They don't live like people on Earth do at all. Can't even be compared. This couple, who look like Shantiel and Tonatiel or Dantiel and Lamtiel and others, volunteer to go on these journeys above the void because it's good for everyone they know, and it's good for them to do that to help us get what we need to get fixed here. Because what has to be fixed on Earth doesn't have to be fixed out there. Earth is a unique, buggered place. And it's a lot of twisted sisters and knots and subconscious and misconceptions and brainwashing and religious nonsense. Good-hearted stuff, but just nonsense when it comes to anybody knowing the God they pray to. Because they don't want to do that. They just want to believe in something. It's easy. It's a cop-out. They don't have to be responsible for anything. They don't have to change. And that's the point of it. So they don't change. This is the problem. This work does not denigrate any religious belief or practice. has no intent of getting one into or out of any belief system. It is here to raise the vibration of the hue and the atmosphere of the planet. Period. It's not here to debate anything or argue with people's concepts of eternity or God or anything else. It is a waste of time. The hue expansion ray is what people on earth call divine spirit. They pray to it all the time, but they don't know what it is. They don't really know what it looks like. They don't know what they look like. They only see the body in a mirror. That's all they know. The problem with Earth is none of people per square inch awake on it to mirror in each other who and what we are, so people get ostracized if they attempt to go in that direction. Right? We know this. There's an ancient law called the law of silence. And it just means right discrimination. It means the ability to decide properly in a given situation, which can only be done when no fear is involved, or it cannot be done. Isn't that interesting? So the higher faculties of the Atma that have never had any negative anything in them, the whole Atma, is already as pure as it's ever going to be. It doesn't need to improve. It needs to become brighter. It needs to be able to use all of its faculties in all the layers of its structure. That structure is made of energy in form that is not made of molecules or atoms. It is not part of time and space, and it is not vulnerable to have to obey the laws of time and space either. It is the one energy we're made of that supports and maintains the entire multidimensional creation, but it is not actually part of it. It is behind it. It has no positive and negative nature in itself any more than the void and the worlds above it and the realms above it have. They don't have any negative nature. So literally, unless the upper realities change, the lower worlds cannot change at all. They're fixed and finished. Guess who did that? Boner. Pardon my language, but we did. All of us at the source before the lower worlds of time and space were even built. Looked good on paper, but in the end it backfired big time. To fix this problem, in the past, they've destroyed the entire lower dimensions of time and space, brought all the Atmas up above the void, rebuilt it, and sent them back. As far as I know, they've done that twice. And each time after billions of years, it ends up in the same mess. Nothing changes. Nothing changed. You can't keep recreating the same problem that backfired and then expect different results. That's a form of insanity. And since beings in the upper worlds don't have insanity or minds, they don't even use mind bodies, that's below them. Then they have to change and be willing to change, including the silent mentors, to keep the lower dimensions in place and then change the way they're run. One of the things that has to happen is the retiring of the old failed experiment of good and evil, replacing it with what the hue expansion ray wisdom does when it passes through people. Pretty simple. Without it, we haven't got a ghost of a chance of recovering. Once in a blue moon, some master teacher takes some student under their wing over many lifetimes and gets one out of here. But man, that's rare. So when you're near the ceiling, you are projecting a 36-year-old body as a male. It's perfectly handsome. And Virgil has all his hair. Yes, he does. It's a prototype. If you're a woman, it's perfectly beautiful. I mean, talk about beautiful men and women. You can't even see such beings on earth. They're not handsome and beautiful compared to these beings. What we are. Because that's flawless, basically. Cannot be improved upon. Satnam serves as a prototype of a first human type of being that was not physical. He doesn't have an etheric, mental, causal, astral, or physical body at all. Why would he want one of those? Torellian doesn't either. Why would he want one of those? Someone like Ogden Purusha, before you leap into the ocean of sound and light or source or prime creator, that being isn't even hard to describe what he looks like. Pleasant fellow. I befriended him as soon as I met him. Most people are terrified of the guy because it's just raw power. He controls it. And he's in all of us behind everything. He doesn't interfere with free will or play games. He just supports things. Torellian had a body that was human. 1 billion Earth years ago. They did not evolve in this galaxy or even this part of the universe. And they came here, this galaxy and others, into the astral plane, populated and raised beings up from animal levels to human and higher, got them to be spacefaring, and then disappeared. Vanished into the background. And only recently they reappeared in this galaxy. First, by notifying the Galactic Alliance Council, by appearing in front of them. That is in the Say-Ray's Agenda book, the actual event. So if you want to see what that was, just go review it. That's how I found out about it. I had to be there. Hearing about it online will not give you an awareness of it. That's just entertainment. It's information. Information does not set anyone free. Experience does. Information can lead to the ability to have the courage to leap into the hue and experience. But that's all. This couple hovering beside you have a male and female body like you, perfect. Most of you, in fact all of you right now, are wearing a Galactic Alliance uniform to show you something in the form you're showing each other. Near the ceiling, because you once wore one, not for 1 time or 10 times or 1,000, more than that. Most of your life is in history, not where you are now. There's people that think and believe, because it's programmed into them, that this is their only lifetime and they go to some heaven, are suffering from a self-delusion, because how can some God allow anybody in some heaven that are as ignorant as a brick, inexperienced as a toad, I'm sorry to say it, and have no responsibility co-create with Source? You see the problem with that? So they go to a certain plane, astral, physical, causal, mental, in a kind of a heaven that's then they're sent back. An archangel or somebody will send them back with no memory. That's the problem. Looks good on paper, but it doesn't change anything. No, I'm not criticizing archangels or master teachers or anybody in the past or religions that were built around them when they came here. It's just that more light of the source, the first sound, the first word is not a written word, it's a sound missing from all spiritual or religious literature on this earth, except for these books, because they were designed from off-world and brought here with that in them. No one could suppress them. In fact, they can't be suppressed by anything on earth. It has gone out of their hands, fortunately. You see a white, golden, transparent light coming down through the ceiling that we connected to when we did those 5 views. There's a brighter flash of it. And we find ourselves in space, in a circle of beings around Ambassador Torellian, looking at the Earth. But it's not the Earth you're familiar with. It's an Earth with 2 big continents on it, no polar ice caps, and a moon. Life with life and energy and water and lakes and rivers and little oceans. It's 1/3 the size of the Earth. It's a big place. Some dome cities on it. Doesn't get overpopulated. Turns on its axis, balancing the water, in the water on the planet and in people that work there. balances it. H2O. Two gases put together make water. First couple of atoms in existence, and yet they can store the hue. It's the water that stores the hue, and if it's depleted, we're in trouble. And it's depleted on Earth's atmosphere and water systems. It still comes through the atmosphere to keep us alive, but it doesn't do much more than that. It's not normal. People on Earth have nothing to compare this to that they can remember without fear, so why would they know it? Everybody stay calm and be peaceful. We're just beginning this journey. I'm probably about 2/3 of the way out on the left side of this circle of beings. Master Ramu is by the Earth, Opelum's opposite. I'm further out in space. Light C is on the other side opposite me. And then you see this couple standing beside you. And you are all three spherical beings, Atmas. You know what you look like. Looking down on these body forms, you show each other. The real you is the spherical one. The projection is the one that looks human with a Galactic Alliance uniform on. Pretty simple stuff. And then you see Ramu suddenly disappear and reappear standing by Torellian's left side. I disappear from the circle. I'm standing by Torellian's right side. Master Ramu is holding his crystal staff, a device, always carries it, even in an astral form, but this isn't astral, this is in his pure form. So this device that he carries was a gift from Source. It originated there and yet exists in the physical world, in the life he lives on Earth, in the third higher parallel dimension of the physical universe. The Ankh symbol on top has a place for two rectangular faceted crystals to fit into it magnetically. And then, when a student's ready, it's utilized to take them to Source to become a master teacher in their own right. It's one of the many functions of Master Ramu. He's also a master who guides people back down along the past time track. Safely, so we don't mess with things. The biggest continent over the Earth you see now, and your eyes should be closed, or you're not going to get any benefit from this journey. Physical eyes can't be open, and you can work the Atma and see this stuff at the same time. The two are in conflict. They don't work together. The big continent is from the left hemisphere to the right hemisphere. It extends down to a third above the South Pole and a third below the North Pole. There's a big Himalayan mountain range in the center of it. No polar ice caps. There's another continent 2/3 its size on the opposite side of the planet, centered over the equator. You see the words in golden letters appear across the surface in the air above Lemuria. And it says Lemuria. And you see on the opposite side, right through the planet, Atla or Atlantis. The letters come rushing towards you and pass right through your being in the circle of beings around Torellian to impress upon you something. This is a world, an Earth, that doesn't flip its poles and never has, that's in existence. The moon has got a full atmosphere, clouds, little oceans and little rivers, a few dome cities well strategically placed, triangular patterns on its surface, turning on its axis as it orbits the Earth, a prototype. Then Master Ramu telepathically says to all of us, this is how planet Earth appeared just over 100,000 years ago, right before the poles of the planet flipped over 180 degrees overnight. Some of you were there when this worldwide dramatic change took place. The event destroyed both continents, all but a small volcanic island that much later became known as the Isle of Atlantis, which sunk 35,000 years ago through the misuse of science. So you see, these places go further back than people on Earth now know. These lands disappeared beneath the depth of the seething ocean waves from terrible volcanic eruptions that sank both continents, while rising from the sea floor entirely new continents we live on today. You will come to experience this later on in the hidden truth revealing journeys we undertake. Other master teachers are with us on this journey out in space beyond Earth, as it was over 100,000 years ago. Et and Din, the Dren couple, with their tails glowing like brilliant, colorful crystal opals in sunlight, are hovering in space above the large, bright, spherical Atma that is Torellian. He is hovering above his 18 feet tall human-like body that he chooses to show us. All of you are standing in a circle around Torellian with the spherical Atma. You all are showing the physical appearing form you show each other. It's not a physical body. It's a projection from the white core of the Atma you are. Something you've always known how to do. Master Ramu is still standing to Ambassador Torellian's left side, and as the Atma I am, I'm standing at Torellian's right side. Master Opelum is standing in the circle with us at the far side of the circle, further away from Earth. We are telepathically instructed by Master Ramu to gaze upward to see there is a very large hourglass-shaped, whirling clockwise, gold and white vortex or interdimensional portal in space, high above Eta and Din, and high above Master Light Sea, who's standing now above them. Master Satnam is standing further upward, right below the wide opening of the vortex. A golden white light is streaming down through the vortex, passing through him, then Light Sea, then through Et and Din, and downward through Torellian. This brighter light of the hue expansion ray is being emanated from the Ambassador Torellian's closed fists with his thumbs up. It surrounds all of us in a bright oval light. We're about to follow Master Ramu's guidance as Torellian points upward towards the whirling vortex that we know connects to the void far above the worlds of time and space. It continues upward to the Hue Expansion Ray Academy and then further upward all the way to the Source or Prime Creator, the central nexus that is emanating and supporting the entire grand multidimensional creation through the one omnipresent living Hue Expansion Ray power. Master Ramu now moves upward away from Torellian's left side until he stops to hover to the left side of Satnam. Then the Atma I Am moves upward beyond Torellian's right side to stop and hover beside Master Satnam's right side. A brighter flash of golden white light from Torellian's closed fists in the center of the circle below us has us all moving in a blur of light up into the whirling interdimensional doorway vortex, and we instantly come out the other end. We find ourselves hovering in these same positions in the wondrous, expansive, pale blue, luminous space known as the void. Nothing of the lower nature, not a physical body, not a fear, no negative emotions, no brain, no mind, no subconscious can be brought with you on this journey. Only the Atma. Another flash of brighter Hue Expansion Ray light finds us all further upward, passing above the void, where we stop to see the white, luminous, diamond-like, glowing sandy beach that surrounds the massive circular landmass known as the Atma Plane, or Satnam's mystic realm. He is now hovering above the luminous jungle trees with transparent, luminous trunks. Master Ramu is standing at Satnam's left side, and the Atma I Am is standing at Master Satnam's right side. Master Ramu is still holding his glowing, golden quartz crystal-like staff. A flash of bright white light from the Eye and the Ankh symbol atop it has us all spiraling upward into the same whirling golden light interdimensional vortex, inside a whirling, sparkling blue light. We instantly find ourselves coming out the other end to see that we have arrived at the Exp.Ray Academy. We're in that landmass. You can see in the distance a continuous radiant blue wave tinged with green is continuously gently crashing to the sand as it circles the entire circumference of the Exp.Ray Academy landmass in a clockwise direction. It continues to circle the entire landmass and never stops. All of you are still standing in a circle surrounding Ambassador Torellian. Master Ramu is now standing at his left side, and I am now standing at his right side. This time a brighter burst of golden white light from the Eye of the Ankh symbol atop Master Ramu's staff has us all dart across the radiant cobalt blue space that encompasses this mighty circular floating landmass. We stop to hover high above the point of the Exp.Ray Academy Tower, whose base emanates from the circumference of a white disc-shaped island surrounded by a luminous blue-green circular lake. The lake is surrounded by 6 blue stone snow-covered mountains. Far off in the distance, we see the radiant white diamond-like sandy beach that surrounds the entire circumference of the Exp.Ray Academy. A moment later, we are moving high above the southwestern quadrant of the Academy landmass, above the white stone roadway that runs as straight as an arrow from the base of one of the 6 snow-covered mountains to the beach, between the white roadway that divides this quadrant in half and the white stone roadway above it. There are a dozen straight white stone roadways that run from the base of the mountains like spokes from the hub of bicycle tire to the diamond-like sands of the beach in the southwest quadrant of the Academy landmass. We are all still inside the transparent golden sphere of light that Torellian's projecting from his closed fists with his thumbs up. The olive light with us inside turns right halfway down this roadway to enter a vast circular clearing. There is a single crystal clear, perfect half-sphere dome in the center of a surrounding luminous lavender radiant lake. The surface of this lavender water is smooth as glass, like a mirror. And we can see billions of brilliantly colorful stars imaged in the depths of the water. The lavender lake is a portal leading to any chosen point along the past time track of the lower dimensions of time and space, or to possible future times not yet manifested. Then we are all inside this clear dome in a circle around Master Ramu, who is standing in the center of a white golden shaft of light, the Exp.Ray itself. Ambassador Torellian and myself are now standing out in the middle of the lavender luminous stone-like floor. All of us can see down through the floor as if it were a massive circular window to the lower worlds of time and space. We can see large levels of galaxies and gradually smaller levels of galaxies, receding downward in the vast depths below the floor. A transparent luminous atmosphere is flowing like a gentle wind through and around the spherical atmosphere we all are, and down through the physical appearing bodies we show each other. As in all training facilities in the Exp.Ray Academy, there is a golden white shaft of light coming down into the exact center of the lavender stone floor. This one omnipresent shaft of light comes from the source or prime creator to power this place. A dozen silent mentors are standing in a wider circle around Torellian and myself, and all of you in the inner circle near the shaft of golden white light that Master Ramu is in, standing on the lavender stone-like luminous floor. The silent mentors are 4 times larger in diameter than any of us. Twice as many teardrop-shaped lights are faculties, built-in layers from a white central core to a violet exterior, surrounded by a radiant golden outer layer, just like all of us, We're just smaller in scope. They are hovering above the human-like body forms they show us. Each one is wearing a different pastel-colored robe above the human-like body forms they show us. They have different colored long hair to their shoulders and white light where facial features would be. We see no facial features, but do see many levels of galaxies when we briefly gaze into those faces. The 12 silent mentors in the outer circle, past Torellian and myself, are telepathically sharing with each of us how they see the multidimensional creation in the upper realities where there is no time and space, and in the lower dimensions of time and space below the void. Remember, they're sharing this with us. It's moving through us. We've got master teachers on one side, silent mentors on the other, in this special training facility that is first revealed to a group I guided last night and now revealed to you. Down we're one roadway just above the central road, halfway down the road towards the beach, a turn to the right in the clearing in the southwestern quadrant. You need to know where these places are and what they look like, or you can't go back there. You are in a circle of beings with the Galactic Alliance couple to each side of you, in a tighter circle near Master Ramu, standing in this beam of light. Master Torellian, Ambassador Torellian, and myself are standing out away from this circle. And then away from us in a larger circle are these 12 silent mentors. They're not standing on top of trees here. They're quite large compared to us. They alternate male and female. Each one has a different colored robe, different colored hair to their shoulders, different colored skin. Covers the spectrum of the color of light. Bigger Atma than us, hovering above the forms they show us. And you can see there is a shaft of soft, gentle, cylindrical light coming down through them, through the forms they show us, passing into the floor, into the lake, the lavender lake, inside the dome, into the floor, going up through Master Ramu, through us, and back home. And then it moves the other way. It's moving both directions at the same time. In a sense, it's going in a loop, like the sign of affinity. So this is passing through us to help us remember what we're capable, potentially capable of knowing and doing and being. We're like prototypes. We're becoming a mix, something new in eternity, a subtle blending of silent mentor and master teacher. Because when something new is brought into creation and runs the whole multidimensional universe differently, it has to be administered by beings. Justin doesn't do it by itself, any more than a body runs itself without an Atma. There's a flash of light that comes from Source itself, through Master Ramu, through all of us, through the silent mentors, and we find ourselves hovering in space in a circle of beings around Ambassador Torellian, looking at the Earth with the two big continents and no polar ice caps. We can see there's an upward curved emerald glowing beach a third of the way above the southern pole. The luminous water, this blue tinged with green, is glowing a foot above the calm waves around the entire planet. The atmosphere is glowing, the water vapor in the atmosphere. You can see a single snow-covered mountain inland from space. Because you're an Atma, you can focus like that. There's a waterfall cascading down its left flank, down a cliff face, thousands of feet, coming out of a cavern opening 2/3 of the way towards the summit of this single mountain. It's glowing. It's a blue-green glow to it. It's falling down behind the blue forest trees that surround a single clear dome. There are 3 golden-sided quartz cap pyramids in that dome. A semicircular mountain range, a small mountain range with little waterfalls coming out of cavern openings filling an oval blue-green lake. And there's a low ivory ground, oval, kind of a long oval type building between the 3 pyramids. It's a research area. And you look down at that beach, and the next thing you know, you're looking down at your bare feet, wiggling your toes in the emerald green glowing sand. This is the perfect form that's physical, about 36, that can smell, taste, touch, see, everything, and many more senses than you have as in a physical body. We're all lined up along this beach. Torellian standing offshore up to his knees in luminous blue tinged green ocean water. It's calm. It's glowing a foot above the calm surface. He still has his closed fist with thumbs up, grinning at us. There's a couple from the Xantanamus race on the other side of the Milky Way galaxy, 10 feet tall, master teachers, standing in the sand behind us, between the trees and us. We're in a semicircle along the semicircular curved beach. They're about 10 feet tall. The woman is slightly shorter. Silver hair at their shoulders looks like silver metal. Violet eyes, beautiful. Ivory-colored skin. Not like Caucasian, like a moonstone. Longer feet, longer torsos, longer fingers. When they move and they walk a little bit and stop, they move like swans. The woman is holding up the palms of both hands with fingers out, and there's a foot-thick glowing green light around them, emerald green. And she's telling you all that their responsibility is to charge this emerald green beach. A single stone of sand, polished round and glowing, is lifted up off the sand by the male with his right hand. I mean, he just levitates it and then throws it into the white core of each of our beings, hovering above the forms we show each other. A gift. And this has to do with remembering lives long forgotten in the lower worlds of time and space. It goes out into the white core of your being, out into the green layer of faculties, and turns a few of them on. This, of course, will affect your physical life in constructive ways. Inland, above this jungle forest, which is luminous, you can see the single snow-covered mountain and the domed city on the lower left flank. Above this waterfall, 2/3 the way towards the summit, is an oval tunnel with dome-shaped lights leaning down inside that mountain. That is a doorway between the parallel dimension of the Earth we know and the 3rd higher parallel dimension, Earth, where this place is. There's no negative nature in the atmosphere. There's no massive people living here. This place and its moon is manned by Galactic Alliance personnel. Silent mentors come here. Torellian, Say-Rays, Xantanamus come here. They charge that beach, and it's a gift for people who can come here. In the center of the Himalayan type range in this huge continent, beyond this southern polar beach, is a city inside mountains like the Himalayas, tropical, basically protected. There's monks there and a cavern in the interior of a mountain. They are made up of beings from all over the galaxy. They condition people to prepare them to go on missions so ships will land on that ledge. Their occupants will get prepared by these monks to withstand the negative nature charged in Earth's atmosphere before they go out into the public, appearing just like us. They're so good at what they do, you wouldn't know they were there unless they wanted you to know it. We're not alone. A flash of light from Torellian's thumbs, brighter, and we find ourselves hovering near the ceiling back on Earth, where we started this journey. The Galactic Alliance couple still hovering beside us. They smile at you kindly and vanish. And all of you can see from the Atma you are hovering near the ceiling, looking at your body in the trance state called sleep. You can see them getting up their sleeping bodies, sitting in egg-shaped blue cushion chairs and lounges on the Galactic Alliance Emerald Star Cruiser. That's where they came from. They had to leave their bodies to go above the void. You can't take a spaceship there. They come back from this journey helping us, but they also communicate this to hundreds of billions of fellow beings in our galaxy. And they go through the experience instantly. We need them awake to help us on Earth. At least they're motivated to do that now. They weren't before. The white golden light of this journey is mixed with a pale lavender luminance. It's moving down through us, through your body, through your physical atoms, out through the wall of your house into 3 pyramids that manifested and are operating on Earth. 2 at the bottom of Earth's deepest oceans, 1 inside a hollowed-out interior of a mountain in the Himalayas, where there are fountains. They happen to have Satnam's statue in them. It's a device, something that we put together on the Atma plane for a specific purpose. It channels this energy we brought back through us for our benefit, but it continues through Earth's atmosphere, starting to charge it on its way through the pyramids. And then it's projected, 3 beams that join together and enter a much larger pyramid, stationed in the asteroid field between 2 stable asteroids that balance it, in the asteroid field between Mars and Jupiter. It is roughly twice the distance between Mars and Jupiter than between any other planets, because there was a planet there. It was blown apart from the core outward. 2 billion people on it, killed instantly. And it's going, like any planet, around the sun at pretty high speed. Blows apart, it ruins Mars's atmosphere, it balances Earth poles, and then forms out and stretches out as it goes around the sun between centripetal and centrifugal forces and becomes an asteroid field. That one's easily explained if you know history. But here's the one, where the Emerald Star Cruiser is a mile long, stationed down inside the 1.5-mile thick chunks of ice, water, frozen, that make up the rings of Saturn. That's known by scientists on Earth. How does that get out in space around a gas giant? Isn't that interesting? It's beamed from the central fountain in this big pyramid, which classified space people know is there. They can't do anything with it. They can't affect it. They can't blow it up. Nothing they do affects it in any way. And it's beamed from there to the central core or axis of the Milky Way galaxy, which is an interdimensional doorway, a connector between all the different parallel dimensions. That's what the core, what people used to call black holes, does. It's a concentric generator. The Hugh expansion ray moves up and down. It's regulated by Agam Purusha and by the silent mentors. Then it's returned to source. We experienced source energy at that academy training facility. We didn't go to source this time. We didn't need to. So it flows through us for our benefit and onward for the benefit of others. Now we are back. And you can look down at your body and wake its sleeping self up and open your eyes. Got a lot done in 1 hour and 15 minutes. Imagine the journey was just about an hour. Things are getting more focused. Now, I will ask you all to turn on your microphones, and I'll click on them to ask that of you. And then, if you wish, we can chat. I'm first going to shut off this recording, and then we can have a questions and answer kind of thing. So we keep this recording fairly short, about an hour.